one of the amazing aspects of my life is this community that I am part of. I have been involved since the beginning. The beginning of my child is very intertwined in this community, at least in my mind, because one of the first workshops of us planning this community is right around the time that my child was conceived. And getting to watch this community come together as people joined it, as decisions were made, as the bureaucracy would stall it, and we'd have to figure out how to deal with internal conflict and external conflict. And it had shaped my worldview. It has helped me think of ways that everybody can have access to this level of community. I, as a single parent, living below the poverty line with a lot of health challenges, I get to participate in a community that means that those things have less of an impact on my child. That I get a lot of amazing food for way less than if I made it by myself. Definitely way less energy than if I made it by myself. My kid gets connection and community when I'm not capable of it, when I can just like zone out and be in freeze mode, and she can be running around with other kids, being as loud as they want in the playroom, learning her own interpersonal conflict strategies with other kids, and going to the parents when need be. That I know other parents, although we all have different parenting style, all of them are compassionate, wonderful people who I trust to discipline my kid in the moment, right? Oh, maybe don't do that. That's not safe. Don't do that. Do that. And often to do it in a better way than I can even do it, especially in those moments when I'm not capable because it's loud and chaotic around me. I get to eat these amazing meals, get to participate. There's aspects that, like, they have a yoga room that I have access to, that if I wanted to, I could go up and do yoga in a private studio 3 times a week or more, but I only go there 3 times a week. Because they share that space, right? For each of them to have their own yoga studio would be ridiculous. But the fact that they get to share in that means that, middle-class families have what upper-class families would have access to. They all have access to 2 guest rooms that they share, access to a kitchen that they can host larger extended family gatherings in, and then clean up there and not have to bring it back to their house, right? Not have to clean up their house beforehand. That they share in childcare. They share in, like, my kid just had this amazing birthday thanks to community, just because, like, one of my friends got us tickets to the aquarium, not who lives in the community. And because I got the tickets to the aquarium, one of the moms covered the cost of food at the cafe. And so it was basically like I paid for some souvenir photos. So like my kid had her 7th birthday at the Vancouver aquarium for like under $50. Very impromptu because it's supposed to be just a small gathering. But when you have a small gathering in community and then a few kids join, it ends up like it was 5 kids and a day at the aquarium, and that was perfect. Those kind of things, like last Valentine's Day, there was this amazing fondue for the kids. We ended up walking home in a snowstorm because the buses weren't running. But the kind of thing that I don't have the energy or the creativity in that facet to put on. And we, karaoke events and things where they had like these mocktails that like were the different rainbow levels, right? Based on the density of the liquid that they made for the kids. So they were mocktails, non-alcoholic, but beautiful. And, going camping, but not having to, I can't go camping, just the 2 of us. It's too much work, too much executive functioning, but going camping with this group where, someone brings a kayak and someone else is singing around the campfire. The odd time I get to go and house sit for somebody there, which is amazing because we're like the one person who can go and house sit and be part of the community. Anyone else that's there isn't, like, kids are in and out of our house constantly, whichever house we're staying at, because that's how life works there. Your kid is within this somewhat enclosed, safe community. Not somewhat, it is enclosed and safe. They could get out if they wanted to, but people can't get in. And, like, finding your kid and they don't want to be found can be a little bit difficult. between these. Like, you have to go knock on everyone's door. Is my kid here? Is my kid here? It's just, it's what everyone should have access to. And yet, if you didn't want to live there, it's kind of torture. There's a few, this is one of the conversations I was having last night when we were on a cleanup team together, was how well families work in this community. Because you can have introverts and extroverts. If you're an introvert, you can hang out in your house most of the time and not go out. You can go out and get social interaction when you need it or want it. And even when you're not, like, my kid can go and get social interaction. In fact, it's the one place where when we stay there, my kid gets overly socialized. Like, she gets beyond her socialization point as an extrovert and needs to kind of have some downtime. Normally in her life, it's way under that level because we exist at home, the two of us, and we have to, like, go out to the park and get that social interaction. Community adds so much. It adds actual resources for way less money. Everyone has a much lower social impact there. Like, we're going out this weekend. One of the people's the designated driver because she doesn't drink, but she's using one of the other women's cars because she has a 7-seater car. We brought our kids to sleepaway camp during the summer, and it was 3 of our kids going, the 3 moms all driving, and we all got to fit in the same vehicle, including one of the little sisters who wasn't going. And, like, those kind of things just pop up constantly, and I'm just so grateful to have these people in my life and get to see the impact of community. And I want everyone to have access to this. I want this to not be a scarce resource, where everyone can have common meals and get to eat together as a community. Everyone can know that they know their neighbors. And how do we create that? We're going to figure it out. But also creating intentional communities from the ground up. Not creating them for profit and creating them for purpose instead. But this is my video on my community. Thank you.